things I've found is receiving feedback is really hard work. Now, when we were children, we learnt through school that we were given a lot of feedback. Were we taught, though, how to actually receive the feedback? Certainly, as an adult, we forget whatever we were taught, if anything. Now, one of the keys to receiving feedback is going back to the old communication model. There's always a sender of a message and there's a receiver of a message. And in between, there's often noise or information that sometimes distorts the message. So one is giving out the message, the other is taking it in. And often that distortion could be the receiver's brain and the voice and the words they're saying in their brain that actually stop the real message from getting in. So going back to the communication model, you have the responsibility as the presenter of the information to provide a clear message. As a receiver, you are responsible for listening to what is being told. Now, when we receive feedback, what happens is these massive walls go up and we go, someone is criticizing me, my work, what I'm doing, and we take it personally. The more passionate you are about what you're actually receiving feedback on, the higher those walls go. Now, if it's something that is really low on your radar and you receive feedback, then maybe you just go, okay, that's that person's opinion and I'll do whatever I want with it. But when we are passionate about our job, what we've created, what we're doing, about you personally, then if someone appears to be criticizing you, even if they're well-meaning and giving you feedback, then those walls go up. So, what is this going to do to you? It hinders your growth. It hinders your growth as a business person and as a person in your own right. Sometimes feedback can be really tough to hear, yet it can also be extremely valuable. I speak about feedback because I know myself personally, I had a hard time earlier in my life actually receiving feedback. It wasn't until someone, a coach, pulled me up and suggested that maybe I responded in a different way and I took a different attitude to the way that I took in the information. And that made a lot of difference to myself, and it also enabled me to grow. Now, as someone coming out of that, and I know life's always about continuous improvement, so I know that I've got a long way to go. But as someone who has learnt that lesson and I continue to review the way I receive feedback, I see a lot of other people who are doing the same thing. Now, what's it stopping them from doing? It's stopping them from growing. It's stopping their business from growing. And it's stopping them to look at the situation or whatever it is from a different perspective. And sometimes it is that different perspective that is going to give you the edge over others. So I'd love to share some tips with you on how to receive feedback. First of all, when you get that person who is giving you feedback, or as in your head you might consider it to be criticism, you need to be aware of what happens. What happens in your head? Usually the walls go up. And if you are aware of those walls going up, and sometimes you tense your body, you hold your breath, you're going, they're going to give me feedback and I'm not going to be able to like it, just acknowledge, okay, stop and listen. So breathe. Just breathe and allow them to communicate. So usually what the person does is they will give you some feedback, but it's usually at a high level. And they're not actually giving you some in-depth pointers that are going to be the gold of what's going to help you move forward. So what they're doing is they're waiting to see what happens, how you respond. If you respond negatively, they'll just go, I'll shut down, I'm not giving any further feedback. If you respond in a way that is conducive to them continuing, then they will give you some really valuable tips. So, what are they looking for? They're looking for you to ask questions. How can I improve? A simple question just like that. What do you think are the areas that could improve? How do you see that would improve for our customers, or whatever it is? So ask those questions. They'll then give you some gold. Stop, listen. That's the first thing, and just absorb what they're saying. Then you need to review what they've said, and in your head you're going to be wondering, is this useful information they're giving, or is it useless information? There are two types of people that like to give feedback. Ones that are out there to help you and to benefit you, and the others who are just wanting to whinge. They give out useless information, they just want to bag out situations, and they're just picking on you in this circumstance. Often those people don't know what they're doing, they think they're being helpful, and so you just need to listen, make that judgment in your own head, and thank them for the feedback. That neutralizes everything. Thanking them just keeps that neutral ground. It also allows, if it's someone giving you useful feedback, it allows them to continue at a later stage, to be honest in the future. Thank them for the feedback, be gracious, smile, and move on. These tips are very simple, however they are hard. One of the biggest tips is the awareness of the fact that you actually have a wall growing up and it's stopping that information coming in. So the awareness is the big tip, and just breathing, standing grounded, breathing, and allowing yourself to listen to what the other person says. Then you make a decision. Do you take it on? Do you not? And maybe if you do want to take it on, and it's something that is relevant to them, if you're in the workplace or in your business, you ask them time to consider what they've said, and for you to make those changes. Receiving feedback is a continuous improvement effort. It can be so powerful. It can be the way for us to grow. So enjoy the situation, enjoy receiving feedback, and enjoy your growth. Merinda Smith, Business Coaching.